Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Math Mondays. I'm Miss Barnes, and this segment is for kindergarten through second grade. Friends, today we're going to be working with a strategy that requires a 10 frame. Do you remember what a 10 frame looks like? It's just a table that has 5 columns and 2 rows. If you don't have one at home, I'm going to show you a really quick way to make one. But you don't even need a 10 frame as long as you can organize your counters or your chips or your action figures into 2 rows of 5. Okay? But I'm going to take my piece of paper and find my marker, and I'm going to fold the piece of paper in half long lengthwise so that I'm folding the paper like a hot dog fold. And then I'm going to draw a horizontal line, and as best you can, I want you to try and draw 5 even columns. Mine are almost even, but they're not quite. So if yours are not quite even, that's okay. All right, here is my completed 10 frame. You're going to need one of these for our lesson today. So take a minute now and let's get ready to learn. All right, our objective this morning is I can use a 10 frame in order to solve problems. We are going to be working with the 10 frame, which hopefully you made. Today we're just going to be using red counters, and you might want a piece of paper and a pencil or writing utensil. Ready to get started? Here's our first question. Now remember, we have to read the whole question before we can start to solve. That way we understand the context or the story behind the problem. So let's read the problem here. A team has 5 soccer balls at their practice. The coach brings 2 more balls. How many soccer balls does the team have now? Model the problem using the 10 frame, then write an addition sentence to solve. All right, so tell me the story behind this problem. So we're at soccer practice, and the team has 5 balls that they're using to practice with. How do we model that? Remember, on our 10 frame, we can add 1 counter to the 10 frame as we count in order to organize our information. Let's do that now. So here's 1 counter, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's modeling the first sentence. A team has 5 soccer balls at their practice. What does the second sentence say? The coach brings 2 more balls. How do we model that on our 10 frame? Let's just add 2 more counters to our 10 frame. 1, 2. How many soccer balls does the team have now? All right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to write a sentence that will answer our question. So here I'm going to write, the team has blank soccer balls. And remember that that blank there just tells us we haven't yet solved our problem. Okay. Now we have to write a number sentence that solves our 10 frame and the model. So what do we do first? Well, we look at the first row and we say, how many counters are in the first row of the table? Well, we know that a full row on a 10 frame means that there are 5 counters. We're going to go ahead and count them individually to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in one full row of a 10 frame, there are 5 counters. Whoops, I'm going to undo that and try again. 5 counters. Now we have to count the number of red counters in the second row. How many are in the second row? 1, 2. So I'm going to add that to my number sentence, 5 plus 2. Now I'm going to do some erasing. And I want you to think back to a strategy you know that can help you get to the answer. Do you remember how to count on a number? So we're going to start at 5 because we know that 5 counters fit in the first row of the table. And now we're going to count on 5 in order to get our answer. So using our counters, we have 5 in the first row. What comes after 5? That's right, 6 and 7. So what's 5 plus 2? That's right, 5 plus 2 equals 7. That means the team has 7 soccer balls. Great job. Are you ready for number 2? All right. So here's our second problem that we're going to do together today. We're going to read the whole problem first. Leah reads 4 books. Her friend Kennedy reads 5 books. How many books did both girls read? Model the problem using the 10 frame, then write an addition sentence to solve. All right, it's your turn. Tell me what to do first. That's right. First, I should write a sentence that answers the question to my word problem. So the question is, how many books did both girls read? So think about it for a second. What would you write as a sentence to answer that question? I would write, both girls read books. Both girls read blank books. And always remember that that blank just means we haven't solved for the total yet. Now, we need to go back and we need to read sentence by sentence in order to organize our information. So, Leah reads 4 books. Let's stop there. Leah reads 4 books. Now, using the 10 frame, how can we model this? That's right. On the first row of the 10 frame, we are going to add 4 counters. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's read the next sentence. The next sentence says, her friend Kennedy reads 5 books. And we'll stop there. How do we model this on our 10 frame? That's right. On the second row, we're going to add 5 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this 10 frame models our word problem just as we read it. Now the next step is we need to write an addition sentence to solve our problem. So do you remember how to do that? What do we do first? That's right, we count the number of counters on the first row of our table. So count them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first number in our addition sentence is going to be 4. Now, you're probably going to say that the next step is to count the number of counters on the second row. But I want you to remember what we know about a 10 frame. If the row is full, how many counters are on it? That's right. If the row is full, just like this second row, that means we have 5 in our 10 frame in that row. So the second number here is going to be 5. Now the next thing we're going to do might confuse you a little bit, so make sure you listen really well. We're going to count the number of counters in our 10 frame, but we're going to start with the number 5 because we know this second row has 5 in it. So starting with 5 and then counting on 4 more. Are you ready? So for the bottom row has 5. So this one is 6. The next one is 7. then 8, and last we have 9. So what is 4 plus 5? That's right, 4 plus 5 is 9. That means together, both girls read 9 books. Really, really, really great job. There's one more problem that we're going to solve today, and that problem is right here. So let's read the whole problem from start to finish, and then we'll go back and solve each sentence. Justin packed boxes over the weekend. He packed 3 boxes in his kitchen, then 5 boxes in his living room. How many boxes did Justin pack? So remember, the first thing I want to do is write a sentence to answer the question. So my sentence will be Justin packed some boxes. And we'll fill that blank in just a second. Now we're going to go back and read the problem sentence by sentence. The first sentence says, Justin packed boxes over the weekend. Stop there. Does that sentence give us any information about the problem? No, not really. So let's continue. He packed 3 boxes in his kitchen, then 5 boxes in his living room. And that's where the period is, so that's where we'll stop. I'm going to break this sentence down into 2 smaller chunks. The first one says, he packed 3 boxes in his kitchen. So how do we model that? That's right, let's put 3 on the first row. 1, 2, 3. The second half of the sentence says, then 5 boxes in his living room. So how many do we need to put on the second row of the 10 frame? That's right, we need to put 5 on the second row of the 10 frame. Next, we need to add a number sentence to our work here. So let's talk about the first number. How many counters are on the first row of the 10 frame? That's right, 3 counters. And on the second row, we know there are 5 counters. And can you tell me what 3 plus 5 is? That's right, 3 plus 5 equals 8. So Justin packed 8 boxes. Great job today, friends. That was a lot of really hard work. It was my pleasure to have you in class today, and I'll see you next week.